This group is either going to be Ghana or Mali. And because of the recent performance of the Black Stars, people were...
Welcome to this very special edition of the Joy Sports Link here on Joy 99.7 FM and also running live on our YouTube channel. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and as always, it's great to be in your company. You know, I like to say this line a lot because truly I appreciate the custom. I appreciate the regimen. It's a rule, and it's become a part of our lives where I come to you wherever you are in the world and serve you the best conversation in sport with Ghanaian interest and international interest, depending on how the tide is swinging. So talk about tides and where they swing and where they take us. Today, we do not have an option but to talk about the Black Stars. Well, something remarkable has happened, and 48 hours on, it feels like it happened 3 minutes ago. And this is because it hasn't happened in a very long time. I'm talking about the victory that was recorded by the Black Stars against their Malian counterparts in that very crucial World Cup qualifier away in Bamako, Mali. And of course, if you do, look at the story of how Mali have been a tough customer for the Black Stars in the last few years, you'd know that this is a very, very key achievement and could prove that turning point or that turning chapter for the Black Stars in this World Cup campaign, which for a moment was looking a little derailed. Today, we have a whole host of guests who will be contributing to this conversation from their respective lenses. Reaching us from the United States of America, where he is in the thick of scouting work, is Derek Boateng, who is an international scout for the Right to Dream Academy. He's played at the FIFA World Cup for Ghana before, and he knows what it means to play in qualifiers and knows what it also means for Ghana to play on that big stage of the FIFA World Cup. He will be joining us. Also, seasoned scout and pundit and coach Osman Saidu makes a return to the Joy Sports Link after such a long time because he's been pursuing other interests. Well, we wanted to get him back here. And our very own Musbah Razak, who brings you the major bulletin every weekday on the Joy News channel and also on Joy Prime at 4 p.m. every other weekday. Well, these plus our very good friend Michael Otieje, who is in charge of digital media at Desawe in Media General, will be joining us later on to add to this conversation from where they all sit. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's great to be in your company, and we're still living, in subtle disbelief, maybe because of the Black Stars' relative form, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Black Stars' form in recent time haven't been the best. They've struggled to pick wins, and I think this is their first win in some 9 matches, and it's a form that has generated quite some concern, and it's one that Otto, when he took over the helms of affairs, he was looking to improve. You listen to him when he announced the squad for this World Cup qualifier. There was one message he put out there. He was very cautious about trying to get Ghanaians to be overly optimistic in terms of results. He said he can guarantee good football. However, when it comes to victory, it's not something that he can guarantee. But he'll get the boys to play well. Even in the presser, prior to the game against Mali, he was clear that Mali is a very difficult side. However, he's confident that he's got some group of players who have the quality to offer some competition against Mali. And on Thursday, that's what we saw. The Malians started really well. You could see they were trying to control the game very intelligently. The Black Stars sat back and managed to absorb the pressure. Just some few minutes at the end of the second half, we saw them coming into the game. Just unfortunate, the goal that they conceded. It was a deflection and very scrappy goal. The Malians themselves were surprised that the ball found the back of the net, but they got the lead. Then the response came in the second half, and that's something that it's been hard for Ghanaians to see of the Black Stars, that when they go down, the response that they often give hasn't been there. But we saw it in the game against Mali. Ernest Nyama, in the 50-plus minute, managed to get the equalizer. Then, in the very dying embers of the game, the Black Stars fought, possibly borrowing the words of Hartlepool, that until the bones are rotten, they are not going to give up. And you saw Jordan Ayew getting the goal. So it was a very difficult game on Thursday, but the kind of performance we saw the Black Stars put up is one that we haven't seen in a long time. We haven't seen it at all. They were working hard. They were fighting for every ball. And whatever Otto is, telling these guys, clearly, It's part of a new chapter for the Black Stars, and it's something that all of us who are proud of. And on Tuesday at the Vara Sports Stadium, that I think is going to be a real party. It's going to be a real party.
Well, just before we came on air, we were discussing, the issue of wanting to just, take time off work, even if we're not on duty at the Barbara Stadium, to go and watch this game, because the fans are going to come in with a different kind of verve. And of course, when we get back, we get on the line to Fifi Manfred, my colleague. He sure is going to tell us how it is likely to look like. We do know the Kumasi vibe, and we know the role that Kumasi plays in these kinds of, qualifiers. Let's go over to Derek Boateng, who is there in the United States of America. He also watched a bit of that game, on Thursday night, and he's got thoughts. Like I said, he's got the experience from playing in these kinds of games, playing in these high-tension and high-pressure games, and he knows what it means to also wear the jersey and have loads and loads and tons of pressure on your shoulder to deliver. Derek, thank you so much for being with us here on the Joy Sports Link. It's good to have you here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Derek, 2-1, Ghana 2, Mali 1 away in Bamako. This is something we haven't seen in a while. Is that indicative of what we're going to see, in the near future? What does this result then say? Because we've done the most important thing. It was a must-win game. We've won. It's changed the dynamics, hasn't it?
First of all, I want to say congratulations to the team, the whole technical staff and the players. They have done really, really a good job. Even during our time, it's really, really difficult to win against Mali in their home ground. It's a very, very difficult place to play. And today the Black Stars went there and won the game for us, which is really, really important game for us. It's really, really, really. I'm so happy. I was watching the game and I was just moving my legs, whenever we have a chance. But
yeah,
it's a great game for us. The team played very, very well in the first half. We managed the game very well, but during the second half, you can see after when we scored, we equalized the goal, we started pulling back. I think it's a tactic game maybe to the players to do, but it works, And all the time I always say that no matter what we are doing or no matter what the game is going, you need an experienced player in the game, which Otuado did in the second half, brought Jordan in, and Jordan, with all the experience that he has, he managed to help us, Even during the game, look at the pass he gave to Thomas Partey. It's a brilliant pass, But honestly, I'm really, really happy and congratulations to the team. And I hope we can continue and just do our best. And on Tuesday, it is another massive game for us. We don't have to wait and know that, look, the game is over. No, it's not over. Another difficult side to play against. So I think we need to concentrate and, make sure that, we'll be there on Tuesday.
We'll be coming to that detail, but let's remain a bit more on this subject of that game that was played 48 hours ago, Mali losing before their home fans. Now, Coach Osman Saidu, it's good to have you back once again. Look, the fans knew the importance of winning that game against Ghana right there at home, and the stands told the story. It was intimidating enough, and they were expectant. And for the first part of the game, the Malians outplayed us. There was a hard press, and we were confined to half of the game.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt. I want to believe that as a coach, one of the things that you will be so excited about is winning a match like this. It took resilience, it took hard work, and it took focus, it took determination for them to get where they were able to get on Thursday. But having said all this, I also want to congratulate the players individually, because it's not easy to win a match against Mali in Mali. That's a difficult task, and I'm so grateful that even is it Prince Boateng?
Yeah, Derek Boateng.
Derek Boateng himself confirmed that that's a difficult task to do. But Thursday's match is gone. For me, congratulations, we've won Thursday's match. What is our next match? Because it has a lot of meaning, a lot of impact, it would then influence how we're going to progress, as we go through these qualifiers. But a word to Ottoado. Ottoado needs to be a bit more focused, not to be weighed by what's happening in the media. Why didn't he call the day? Why did he bench Jordan Ayew? For me, these are things that can't distract him. I mean, there could be genuine concern why the day is not part of the game, or there could be also genuine concern why they think the day should be part of the game. But hey, that's not the issue now. The issue now is you need to win your next match on Tuesday. And I would encourage him as much as he can to do the same thing that he did in his preparation before Mali's game. He needs to get the players ready for the match.
Okay, let's get back to you, Derek. Derek, for any fan who sits back and is watching this game, it's a very uncomfortable place to be when you're pinned to your half and you seem not to be able to run through the channels, use the wings to get out and catch your opponent on the break. You just can't operate. Your midfield is captured and you just can't, and that is what Mali did to Ghana for the first part of the first half.
Yeah, I think both games, if you check the game very well, if you watch it very closely, the midfield, both sides is close, But the Malians they have an advantage of putting the ball in between our midfielders, because they have players who always run to the pocket and receive the ball. But when you can see the way we are playing in the midfield, it's difficult for us to operate from there. So the best thing we can do is that to operate from the wings. But we don't have, if you check our final test, we need more push from there. But because of, I think Ottoado is playing two right back defenders on the right wings, so it's difficult for us we can operate from the right wing more. Lamptey is doing very well, but he's not an attacker, like a Jordan Ayew who can take on one-on-one and create something and make something happen. You can see even the goal that we equalized, the goal that we scored, it was Salisu who came to that wing and make a cross, one-touch cross for NS Nyama to score. But all the same, it's a lesson for us, this modern football, most of the time, every team makes sure that they compact their midfield very well, because that's the engine on the field. If you don't have a lot of quality players there who can hold the ball tight, who can pass and move the ball very quickly, you have a big problem. That's what happened to us in the second half when we equalized. We started dropping back, and the Malians are playing. We should not forget that they have home advantage on us, but all the same, the most important thing that we won the game, and the players did very, very well to match them up, from first to the last end. And I'm so, so proud of them. We should continue doing what we are doing. The next game is a new game. It's not going to be the same game. Every game is a new game. It's a different game. So we have to have a different approach of that game as well.
A different approach as well. Let's also look at a few areas which obviously would have to be cleaned up before Tuesday's game, because this win has changed the conversation completely. Musbao, there are a few problematic areas. Now, from Ghana's participation in the last FIFA World Cup till now, there is vulnerability at the back, irrespective of which defensive quartet we put out there.
Yeah, and today we saw glimpses of that. The partnership between Salisu and Jiku. I think Ottoado is looking to make it a permanent, partnership. He's trying to get them to gel, and he's hoping that game by game they will have a good understanding of themselves, and game by game they will improve. Even today we saw it. There were times that they just seemed to have lost their rhythm some way. Some balls were flown in, and for some strange reason, sometimes he took Mohamed Salisu having to clear the lines. Sometimes he took Jiku having to clear the lines for us to be able to contain the danger. But it is something that if Ottoado continue to play them, continue to work on them in training, I think they will be our best pair. Of course, there's Jerome there, but I think these two, with continuous guidance, we can get them to be the mainstay as far as our defensive, position is concerned. I just wanted to comment about Gideon Mensah. It was really impressive today, on Thursday, really impressive. His defensive work is something that many have raised questions about. He's very good sometimes when he's going forward. He's able to offer you that attacking, efforts there. But sometimes when it comes to defensive work, he finds himself wanting. It was that very same space that we conceded the first goal. He was bullied very easily by the Malian winger, and we ended up conceding that goal. But I think he did well. Going forward and other defensive duties, he really did well. Another player who got lots of praise was Tariq Lamptey. He's got lots of praise because of his work. There were a few questions about his crossing. Whenever he gets into the final third and having to release the ball into the penalty area, there are a few questions about it. He didn't quite get it right. But the defensive work he deployed on Thursday was good. Going for it was good. But I'm sure if he's able to improve on the crossing, he's a very fine player. We've seen him at Brighton. We've seen what he can offer. And if he continues to play, I'm telling you, he's a real asset for the Black Stars. And I think Otto has seen that he's a player that going forward, he can help the Black Stars. I also realized that each time they had a water break, a cooling break, John Pinto, was speaking to him. Even sometimes when he gets a throw in, John Pinto gets close to him and was offering him guidance. And this John Pinto, who excelled in that role, that right back role, and you can understand that why he was constantly speaking to him, offering him some guidance so that he can improve in his deliveries at the right back role. So I think it was great. Mohamed Kudus was fairly good, but you could see that the Malians singled him out as one player who was going to pose lots of problems. So each time he got the ball, there was always a player on him. It was almost like he was being man-marked, and he turns there. By the time you realize about 3 players have surrounded him, so it made it difficult for him to play the kind of football we know he's used to at West Ham. But you could tell that because the Malians had so much attention on him, each time he got the ball, he drew a lot of players to himself. That created space for other players to, run. Antoine Semenyo was phenomenal on Thursday, despite not finding the back of the net. Some of the runs he made were really good. Sometimes he switched to the wings and is able to run into the penalty area. He made a very fine cross that at a point I thought Mohamed Kudus had just paid close attention to what Antoine Semenyo was trying to do. He would have, gotten a goal for himself in the first half. So fairly, the players did well. There's still some areas to improve. The partnership between Jiku and Salisu is something that is going to improve. I believe it will improve. And I think going forward, they are our best pair in defense. Tariq Lamptey is coming good. Likewise, Gideon Mensah. And I think Antoine Semenyo, because there were questions not when Jordan Ayew was dropped for Antoine Semenyo in attack, there were questions that were raised. Someone like Jordan Ayew has got the experience. And if you've got such a crucial World Cup qualifying game, why not use Jordan Ayew? But we saw it. He came from the bench and he delivered. I'm not sure if that is a statement to Otto that come Tuesday, I'm the man you need to field.
You mean Monday?
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game is happening on Monday, rather.
It's Monday, isn't it? Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, June 10th. Good.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's a statement he was putting out there to Otto that I'm the man if you want to get the goals. But what Antoine Semenyo did on the day was a fine job that I think Otto will not change as far as his first 11 is concerned. I think Jordan Ayew should continue to come from the bench. We saw what he delivered when he came from the bench. And Fatai Issahaku, likewise. Maybe there might be a change between Fatai Issahaku and Enes Nyama in our game against CR. But all the same, those who came from the bench did so well. Those who started did so well. And I think this is a Black Stars team that we must watch for the future.
I mean, in looking for options, obviously we're all used to Jordan Ayew, and we're used to these kinds of important goals that he scores. I mean, together with his brother, the captain, Andre. But also, the whole conversation is about getting players to fill in the spaces and getting players that we can rely on when we have eventuality. And I believe that in a way, Antoine Semenyo is also gradually warming himself into the space. Coach, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, he's really doing that, and he's doing that very fast. And like he rightly said, he did very well with his runs, and then he was very determined. You could realize that he's playing a typical attacking role. And to me, this is a challenge to Jordan Ayew. He needs to do more than, fortunately for him, he was able to score. So for me, then it becomes a competition unlike what used to happen, where I definitely know that I'm the one who's going to play and then I can play lackadaisically, I can play the way I want. So I think that competition is good, and certainly is good for Black Star around this time.
Competition is good and certainly is good for the Black Stars at this time. Now, Derek Boateng is a man who now is looking at the next set of talents who can infiltrate different parts of the world. Now, Derek, with the kind of eye that you have, having played the game and also now fishing out talents, generally, what do you see, about this team in terms of the kinds of options we have? There are those who have said that we have the quality all right, but it's a matter of gelling. There are those who also think that we just are not getting it right. Where do we really stand?
I think, like I said earlier on when they gave the team to Attoh, I always say that, football is a team sport, Normally, things will get worse before get better. But we can see we have new players, new young players that are coming on board. They are very, very angry that they want to take part. And I'm very, very happy the squad that we have right now. You can see they are doing well in their clubs, which is really, really important. And we don't have like just Kudus, Kudus is our star. But we have another players as well who are coming, who can score goals, who can do a really, really good job for us. Like you guys were talking about Semenyo. He's doing a really, really great job. He's doing very, very good job at the top. But at the same time, football is a teamwork, like I said, You need everyone on board together to help him. And for me, where we are right now, I think we are in the right channel at the moment, is how to manage the players, how to manage the team, and the support that they will have from the nation. But for me, I think everything is going well. We have to continue doing well. We have to work hard and, just keep on going.
Well, keep on going, definitely it is. Now, I want you to also tell me, you played with the Black Stars coach at the 2006 World Cup, our very first appearance at the Mundial, and so you are part of the history-making, squad of players. Let's look at, what you have identified in this team. Who we need to be looking at. Yes, it's a team effort, but at the end of the day, individual materials come together to make the team effort. Which players give you the biggest confidence at this time based on what you've seen over the past few games, and especially that game that was played on Thursday night against Mali?
For me, I always say that, look, football is a team sport, You need everyone on the field, to put in the work, before you can win the game or you can get to the top. And like you said, I played with Attoh during my time, and he's a genuine guy. I always say that he'll give every player a chance, but you need to show. You need to show that you want to play. You need to show that you want to help him. You help the country, help yourself, So for me, he's a great coach, and we need to have confidence in him, you understand, and support him. But look, today the changes that he made is really, really important, and it's good, because you can see some of the players that they haven't played before for the national team. It gives them a chance to play. This game is really, really difficult, to give the players to get their debut in that game. So for me, you can see the confidence he has on the players, and also the players are ready to play for him. You already know what he's looking for. You can see him throughout the game. He doesn't sit down. He's just standing, giving messages across the players, and they are performing very, very well. We should not forget about Thomas Partey today. I think today he played very, very well. He played mature football. The Thomas Partey that we expect, he did really, really well. But sometimes we forget about that. Because if you can see the game today, he's the player who handled a lot of pressure on the midfield, throwing passes on them, under the game. And his leadership quality is beautiful. So for me, I think we need to build a team, around those players like Thomas Partey, Kudus Mohamed, at the front, and like the other coach was saying, we have two set-up defenders who are doing really, really well. But we should not forget we have another one that coming, Mumuni from Rayo Vallecano, and he also have a very, very good defensive work. So for me, the whole team is doing really well. We should help them. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, we should continue supporting the team and help the squad, and because we have a beautiful squad right now. They are a young team, and it will take time for them to get to their level, but at the moment, things are very good for us. we should not put any pressure on them. We should continue, managing the situation with them.
Well, still here on this special edition of the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM and also on YouTube. I keep the messages coming. Remember, it's 055 1111997, 055 1111997. We're also very active on all of our social media handles. I know that you're burning with so many suggestions and so many bits of critique and all of that. To make sure that we see the Black Stars work again. Of course, that game, I think I mentioned Tuesday quite a number of times. Forgive me for that. The game is on Monday. So it will be at the Barara Stadium. And we'll be looking ahead to that game as well and looking at what exactly the Black Stars team led by Coach Attoh needs to do in terms of tweaking so that things can be gotten right. And the big question we're just asking is this win the one that turns around the story for the Black Stars in this qualification? Let's look at a few scenarios before we get back to some other issues that came up, including this story about the non-inclusion of the Black Stars captain. It's something that has raged on, and we need to discuss it. I'll be asking all my panelists what their views are on this. But going to the next FIFA World Cup, we go, we don't go, what will be the effect?
I think for the going, I don't know, now if you've been following the conversation on social media, there's a very interesting conversation about a Dutch passport in it.
Of course, in the last couple of days, yeah.
And if you look at what most young people are leaning towards, they say they want a Dutch passport. But that is just to give you an idea of what it means for people to go support their country elsewhere. And this time it's going to be happening in Mexico, Canada, and the USA. People will love to be there. Will love to be there to go and cheer the Black Stars. Even for Ghanaians in USA, Canada, will love to go and cheer the Black Stars. Now, we saw the experience in South Africa. We saw the experience, in 2014 in Germany. We saw the experience in Qatar. Whenever the Black Stars are, at the World Cup, it's a completely different frenzy. Even for media personnel like us, it's a fine opportunity for us to bask in as far as the content is concerned. The Black Stars at the World Cup is a content-free day, if you want to call it like that. We'll have content for morning, evening, and afternoon, and evening. So the Black Stars going to the World Cup is really important. And not just for media personnel, even for Ghanaian people to go there and have great fun, but also as far as our football is concerned, because to some extent, it's a good indicator of the level of our football, the level of development of our football. It's an opportunity for us to also tell the world the level that we've reached as far as the pool of talent we have and how well developed they are. So the Black Stars going to the World Cup 2026 is a must. They have to be there. We missed out in 2018. We made amends, went to the 2022 edition in Qatar. The performance wasn't good and we were not able to advance beyond the group stage, but we need to be there. But it's far from over because, we've just played 3 games now. This is our 3rd game in the qualifying series. 3rd game. Now we've won 2, lost 1. There's still quite a number of games to go. And we need to top the group to qualify automatically or be among the 2nd best, teams in the qualifying group to stand a chance of, making it to the World Cup. So it's far from over. But this is how you, solidify your quest to qualify for the World Cup. You won your 1st game, you lost your 2nd, you responded well away to Mali. Then on Monday against Central African Republic, you need to win and win convincingly and send a strong signal to all other, countries in the group that Ghana is interested in the ticket, the 2026 FIFA World Cup ticket. They are interested because now when the grouping was done, the one country that a lot of Ghanaians had strong reservation or were concerned about was Mali because of Mali's recent performance. Mali is a very strong side, and many tipped that, look, this group is either going to be Ghana or Mali. And because of the recent performance of the Black Stars, people were very skeptical that the Black Stars had any chance of even defeating Mali in Bamako. At the best was that we can get a draw. But we went there, we won the game. So against Central African Republic, we need to get the win, and that should be the trajectory we should stay on. Get the win, and the West gets a draw. We can't afford to drop any points now. We need to stay consistent with our performances And, you know, by the time the qualifiers are over, Ghana should be in the 2026 World Cup. And at this level, especially with the slot having been increased, it's going to be, it's criminal for Ghana not to be there.
Sacrilege.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
You say something like it has to be a must for us to be in the World Cup. But I think that you are wrong there. I'm not agree with you because we are in the moment our football is really, really down, you know. Our game is totally down and we are trying to come back. So I think we need time. We don't have to put pressure on the team that they have to be in the World Cup. Fine, when we are there, it's fine, it's beautiful. But Ghana don't want to be in the World Cup, then we'll go and then we'll be out of the group stages like we did in 2014. We want to go there and compete. You understand? So for me, I think it's a developing side we are right now to make sure that our game is coming up and we get our level. But right now, we are not in our level now. We don't have to say that we won against Mali, then we are there. No, we are not. It takes time to get there. So I think we need to go through all the process, you know, give the time for Utuado, give the time to the players to develop, to get to their level. You understand? Because right now, we can see, look, even from our youth level, our game is not good. We are struggling, you understand? So Ghanaians have to have patience, you know, with the team, you know, no pressure, like I said earlier on. We have to have time for them to grow. They have to grow, the team have to grow. Because you cannot win Mali and say to me that you must be there in the World Cup, you have to do that. No. We need to work as a team. We need to help the team, help the coach, support the team as well, you know, and make sure that they got their level. That's what I can say about that. But if Ghana didn't go to the World Cup 2026, for me, it's not a failure for us. We still develop, still coming up. We have to get to our game. We are not there yet. You understand? But if we are there, fine. But if we are not, I think we still have to continue doing what we are doing.
Derek, what about the situation where the attendance list or the participation list has been expanded, and you know it's easier to get into the World Cup? That's what I guess the conversation was driving at. And sometimes, I mean, the teams with the best form sometimes exit tournaments. We saw it at the last Africa Cup of Nations.
No, you know, when you talk about football right now, the position we are in with football right now is really, really low. You know, we are not there. We used to be there. You understand? And we are not there. So now we are building from the scratch. And it takes time to get there. So we need to have time. We need to have time, patience for the team, the coach, the squad, you know, for them to grow and get there. We are going to get there, but we need to take it step by step. You understand? Like I always say, football is a teamwork. You understand? Normally, what people think about is like, just go and win, just go and be in the World Cup. No, but you have to go through something before you get to a World Cup qualification as a team, play together. And no team is easy to play against, especially when it comes to Ghana. You understand? Because we lost some matches that we don't have to lose, you know. Normally, when you put a pen and paper down, you know that, look, it's a must win for us. But it's not like that for us anymore. Every country is playing very well. You understand? So it will take time for us to get there. So we need to have exercise patience for the team, you know, the squad, the coach. We should keep on supporting them, you know, and help them because they will get there. But for me, we don't have to be in rush. We have to be in the World Cup. We have to be in the World Cup. We go there in group stages. We're out. Then we have to come and start again. No. This is the place where we are right now that every country that play against Ghana knows that, look, they can win against us. They are not afraid of us anymore. You understand? So I think it's good for us to get our confidence back, you know, bring the team back and make sure that we're in the right channel. But for me, if Ghana qualify to the World Cup, good. But if Ghana didn't qualify to the World Cup, we have to continue what we are doing with the coach, with the players, for the team to grow.
I would like to say something about this, but before I get there, Nat, I want to say that sports really, really create memories. So Ms. Bao was reminding me of my diaries in 2014 at Brazil. I was in a town called Natal. It was so exciting. I was really, really happy to have watched my first World Cup live in Brazil. Having said this, I also want to refer to what Derek is saying. So I respect his opinion. I mean, totally. He's coming purely from the tactical point of view. He loves the game. He wants to see the game being played very well. But beyond just the game, there are some other things that would help Ghana in a way if we're able to qualify. For instance, investment in the soccer, in the game. When Ghana qualifies to the World Cup, even if we don't really go beyond the group stage, we have the opportunity of having some mileage, some investment, some publicity to really go ahead and then be really known. I mean, globally, there is the other aspect of it, of the business aspect of it. There is the vacation aspect of it. There is a sidemen aspect of it. So really, it's not only about the tactical play of the soccer. It's something else if you go to the World Cup in Ghana. I'm excited, you are excited. As to whether or not we want to go and win is another conversation which will take forever, I think.
Yeah, and you know, I completely agree with Derek when he says that the win against Mali, of course, it brings confidence to the players in the camp. It brings a lot of excitement. It raises the hopes of Ghanaians about qualifying for the World Cup. He makes a very profound point when he says it's important that despite this win, we appreciate that this team is in the phase of improving, improving. And I think that's very profound. And that's one point I'm sure Otto emphasized in the post-game, post-game presser following the win against Mali. That, look, yeah, we've won, but we are still in the process of getting the team to gel, etc. But not, what is also equally true is that the only way sometimes you can, or one of the ways you can measure the development of a team as to whether the team you are working on is improving or not is the results of some of the matches. Sometimes they can lose and you'll be satisfied that the team played well. But ultimately, when the team is able to get a win, you get a certain indication that, yes, what I'm telling the boys, they are picking it. If eventually the team is able to qualify to the World Cup, you become relatively satisfied that what I have been telling the boys over this period, because by 2026, when hopefully the Black Stars might have qualified for the World Cup, that's 2 years that Otto has been in charge of the Black Stars. And if by then he's going to be leading the team into the World Cup, then he will be satisfied that, yes, what I have done with this team, there's some improvement, and hopefully they will go to the World Cup and improve, from what they did in Qatar. So in as much as there's no need to put much pressure on the Black Stars now, which I completely agree, I also believe that qualifying for the World Cup is a target that Otto most certainly will not sit and say, well, no, guys, let's play, but it's a realistic target. It's a target they can achieve, and it's a target he can use to measure the kind of work he's doing on these boys. Young boys trying to build a team, but it's a target he can use to measure the kind of work he's doing on Tariq Lamptey, on Salis Abdul Samed, Fatawi Saaku, name Gideon Mensah, how he's getting them to play the kind of philosophy. When he was asked what philosophy he uses, he says he combines Mourinho and Pep Guardiola. When they finally qualify to the World Cup, I think he can use that as a measuring rod to tell that, yes, the boys are improving. And then they go to the world stage, they are further tested, and gradually we are getting the entire national team to the level that we want to see them. Now, we saw the under-17 under Lai, how they played. Pretty much most Ghanaians were impressed with how they played, even though they didn't get a medal at the end of the day, but we were impressed. We saw the under-20. Likewise, these days we are seeing the Black Queens. There's a certain trend I'm seeing that the national teams are beginning to pick up. And as they are picking up, you look at the public support for the national team is improving day by day. And come Monday at the Barbara Sports Stadium, you see that. So this is the trajectory we want to see. Develop the team, measure it against the results of the games. Ultimately, you qualify to the World Cup. It gives you a bigger platform to test the kind of work you've done on the boys. When they meet Spain, when they meet Croatia, when they meet France, at this World Cup stage, you can test after 1 or 2 years in charge as the head coach of the Black Stars, the kind of work you've done with the team. So yeah, for me, we should not put pressure on the boys. We should appreciate the fact that is a developing phase for the Black Stars. But by 2026, By 2026, with Otto still in charge, I think it would be fair for us to ask questions about how well he has developed the team. And if he had the World Cup, it would be a perfect opportunity to test the kind of work he's done with the team.
Ms. Bauer, plus the fact that at this stage is a competitive stage, and it will always be competitive. We don't have the luxury of saying we're going to just play to develop a team. It's always you playing a qualifier for Africa, for World Cup, playing in the World Cup, playing the African Cup of Nations. So at this stage, it's a competitive stage. We need to just get organized and get the cohesion that we need as we play along. There's never going to be a loose time that you're going to have to develop the team like the way you would develop a youth team, like the U17, U20. At this stage, it's a competitive stage.
Yeah, and I think that just to add that, one thing Derek also says is that, and I think I really loved it when he said, whether the team qualifies for the World Cup or not, it's something that we need to conscientize ourselves. That Black Stars failing to qualify for the 2026 World Cup should not mean the team should be condemned. No, we should have at the back of our mind that yes, we want to go to the World Cup. However, the failure of the team to qualify for the World Cup should not mean the end of the team.
Absolutely.
You know, there should be a certain progression. That yes, even if they don't qualify for the World Cup, we are seeing the kind of football they are playing. We are seeing the improvement in play, the quality football. We are seeing all of that. That's why even in under 17, when they failed to qualify for the U17 AFCON, we were like, yeah, this team is, something is happening with this team, right? We were impressed. So I think that's what Derek is communicating to Ghanaians. Let's have that at the back of our mind, that if the Black Stars don't qualify for the World Cup, it should not mean the end of the team. We should give room for the team to improve, get better. Of course, by then the likes of Jordan Ayew might have decided to retire, etc. But we should give room for the team to improve, you know, on and on and on.
I'll be sharing some messages with you as we go along, quite a number of them coming through, and we'll be picking some thoughts as well later on phone. But let's switch the conversation over to the Garden City, where my colleague Fifi Manfred of Insura Sports has joined us. Now, during the week, in the build-up to that game on Thursday, we went to him, we were gauging the moods and some of the thoughts on the ground as well, and we got his analysis as well. Fifi, after 90 minutes of action on Thursday, the conversation has really turned around, and it's more like going to fulfill the saying that sometimes you have your destiny in your own hands and you dictate the way it goes. And the Black Stars now are having to dictate the way it's going. Your general thoughts on where the Black Stars now find themselves and that big task ahead in your backyard, you know, on Monday. All right, can you unmute for me, please?
Okay.
Very well.
Great.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, go ahead.
Great. So I think that it was a very, very good game for us, a very good game, a game that saw the different aspects of how we want to progress. So I've been listening to you guys in the studio, and I think that the submissions are brilliant, and especially from Derek, who talks about how the team has to grow. And I think that even in this game, we saw almost everything that we need from a team that at some point lacked the control that you want in the middle of the park. And then also a team that at some point showed that even when you don't have the tools technically or tactically to beat your opponent, you need to work hard, you need to show great, you need to be much more aggressive, and you need to want it more to get results. And I think that was the general overview of the game. At the end of the day, I like the game plan from Otto, the fact that he knew that the strength of the Malians was in central areas. He wasn't really going to play to their strength, but he was going to take the game away from them and play from outside. And I remember this morning when we spoke about the game in previewing it, we discussed it, and it was a very, very important one. Playing in a 3-back system, having wing backs in there helped us to get the numerical superiority from outside, which was very, very important when we played against the Malians. And I think that's the most important thing. When you play in games like this, you need to give yourself a chance to create quality chances. And when you create quality chances, when you take them, you're able to get the results in there. Again, if you look at the goal that we considered, it was from something that we discussed in Premat. We said that the Malians are very physical. Yes, I'm sure a lot of Ghanaians will argue that that was an infringement on Gideon Mensah. But then again, you realize that the ball was mid-air. Gideon really didn't rise up to challenge for the ball. He was still rooted to his feet, and then the Malian went in for the ball. Yes, he was much more aggressive, but then that's how the Malians don't play the game. We expected them to be aggressive. They got the goal, but the most important thing was the reaction of the Black Stars when they came out from the second half, and they controlled the game in the second half, played very well. When we got the equalizer, then we began to sit back, which wasn't particularly a very good side. But again, you could see that the things that Otuado wanted to do, I don't know if this is just for just the Malian game or that's what he wants to do for almost every away game. Because I saw him play with a 3-back when he went to play in that important game against Nigeria in Abuja to qualify us for the last World Cup. This time he went in a 3-back again. It's that 3-back system that got Salis Abdul Samed to overload that left-hand side. He's sending in that one time because that found the head of NS Tapia Nyama and then because they equalized. I think that from then I was a little bit worried because I don't know if it's a natural instinct of the team. If it is, then it means that O2 has some work to do. We saw it against South Korea. We saw it against Uruguay. When we get equalizers, we tend to naturally go back. We tend to sit back. And all of these times have been teams that have been coached by Otuado. I don't know if it's just a natural instinct on the Black Stars, but if it is, then we need to change something. We needed to control the game better. We needed to hold on to the ball. We needed to try and string some passes together. I can agree that the fans in the 26 March stadium in Bamako were vociferous, and then of course the Malians were pushing very high and wide in their press to try and win the ball back. But again, I think that we had the technical men at the back. Chiku, very good on the ball. Salisu, excellent on the ball. And even Atizigi, I thought at some point in time, Atizigi will consistently lose the ball upfield and in hoping that we get somebody at the end of it. It wasn't really working. And that piled a lot of pressure on us after the equalizer. Until substitutions, again, a very good one, taking off NS Tapia Nyama, bringing in the physical specimen in Elisha Owusu to deal with the threat in central areas from Koulibaly and then Sinayoko in those central areas so that Ghana could also win those 50-50 balls. They helped us gain some level of control. Albeit it wasn't too much because we considered loads of corner kicks after even those changes were made. Then the very good ones came up because at some point we needed a proper focal point up top. We needed somebody to hold up the ball up top. We needed somebody to also use the pace outward, and that's when we brought up Fatai Iswaku and Jordan Ayew. For whatever you want to say about Jordan Ayew, when it is a big game and we need somebody to stand up, we've said it several times. He is one of the big names in the team, and for time and time again, he has proven that when we need him, he would stand up. Today was a very good one, well composed. And mind you, before that Jordan Ayew goal, there was Thomas Party who had come through with a very good chance, but then failed to hit the back of the net, and then Jordan came in and got a goal. So in terms of performance, it wasn't a splendid one, but in terms of results, I think it's the best result you could have. Yes, it's the best result that we could have ever dreamt of, going to Bamako, getting 3 points. I predicted that we were going to beat the Malians home and away. I don't think that the Malians have enough technical ability. In fact, Nat, I've said it, and I'll stay on this hill forever. That I think that we have the best squad on the continent. And yes, I agree with Derek to an extent when he talks about we lowering our expectations and whatnot. But with this team, I think that with Otuado's also experience and the fact that he's a very good tactical coach, I've said it several times, that if you think that this team is young, and then you cast some comments at Otuado and says, hey, he's a trainer scout, he's not good enough, and whatnot. This team actually needs somebody like that. He needs somebody with that experience, and I think he's the man to take us there. So 2-1 lead. Excellent. I don't remember the last time we did a comeback in Ghana. It's been almost impossible for Ghana to go down and win the game, come back from a 1-0 down. We usually lose it. So it's a good one. I think it sets the tone for the big one on Monday here in Kumasi. And trust me, if we saw 50,000 people at the 26th Mass in Bamako, I'm telling you, Babara will be filled to its rafters on Monday.
Very well. And just before we take leave of you and pick the thoughts of Michael Otieje, we want to, get ourselves into the minds of these fans. I mean, between Thursday night and now, you've been having loads of conversations, loads of interactions. The fans of Kumasi have a way of doing things when it comes to pushing the Black Stars to perform. What is the anticipation? I mean, after the stadium is filled. Is filled. Every single space is taken at the stadium.
Well, I mean, Derek has moved from being a footballer to a coach, and you can understand when he wants time and he says that let's build it. But for the average fan in Kumasi, for the average Ghanaian, they want to win. And I mean, Nat, we do smell blood now. We have done the almost impossible job away at Bamako. In our own backyard against a Central African Republic side that has been a thorn in our flesh. We would want to get some wins. I'm speaking for almost every Kumasi fan when I see when they fill the stadium, they want nothing short of a win here in Kumasi. And I think that we have what it takes to get a job done. And it's the opportunity that's lying in front of us. If we beat Central African Republic, we go to 9 points. It means that our destiny is in our own hands. And I remember Musbah mentioning that earlier. If you get games like this, you get wins, it builds the confidence of the team, it builds the confidence of the coach, and then it also gives the confidence to the fans. Musbah also did mention that you look at this team and then across our national teams, the under-17 were playing well, all of a sudden Ghanaians began to support. The women's national team were playing well, all of a sudden Ghanaians all over the team. That's what we want. We know that our Black Stars and then our nation is about fighting and going for it all. If we see the Black Stars fight here at the Baba Sports Stadium, trust me, you know that place is never a silent one. We're going to be happy in our bosses to push the Black Stars, and I can tell you definitely we can push them to a win on Monday.
All right, Fifi, thank you so much. It's been wonderful getting your thoughts on this particular subject, and we are looking forward to Monday with a lot of hope and a lot of expectation as well. Thank you so much. Fifi Manfred joining us there with his analysis on the situation. Now, we've managed to reach Michael Otieje, who's in charge of the digital operation at Media General, and he's got thoughts on this as well. He's been doing some amount of monitoring of the current team, and he's got thoughts on this particular matter. Now, based on everything we've said about this game and what it has done in terms of reinvigorating all of us and re-energizing us and shaping the focus or reshaping the focus, now then there's a job lying there. And let's remember that in the past 3 to 4 years, we have had surprises from teams like Central African Republic, and that is our reality. Whether or not we have stands that are filled, to the top, we still have that reality hanging around our necks. Michael? All right, can you unmute for me, please?
Yeah,
very well.
Is it better now?
Great, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm saying, first of all, I'm back in my comfort zone, which is sports, after veering off into digital and managing news at some point.
Very well.
So I'm back in charge of sports at Media General now. So I just wanted to make that clear. And to say it's an absolute pleasure to see Derek again. It's been very, very long time. I was watching today, earlier today, the video of our last game in Bamako. Kodia Samuel scored, Michael Essien then had a wonderful run into the box and then set it up for Matthew Amwa, who then scored. We won 2-0. I was telling somebody this morning that before Black Stars matches, we tend to, and I think that's a correct attitude, by the way, we tend to put so much pressure on the team. We tend to ask such tough questions. And a lot of the time, by the kind of respect we give to the opponents, we literally lift the team up to a certain level. Because before that game in 2010, everybody was talking about Seydou Keita, Modibo Maiga, Mamadou Diarra. That Mali team was Freddie Kanote, and the rest was like a really good team. And then we won 2-0, pretty much today. Before today, a lot of people forgot that Mali had not won yet at home. So this was the third game in qualifying, they've not won any. That spoke of a vulnerability. I always started observing the team last week and pretty much ahead of this game that there was an element of lowered expectation. And I think maybe it's...
All right. Brilliant point being made there by Michael. We are going to re-establish contact with him. But he makes some very, very important points here that, when you have that advantage and when you have the vulnerability, you have to explore, just like our friends in boxing do, you just have to explore the vulnerability because you may just not get that chance as sweet and as simple as it is.
Yeah, I mean, not sure if Coach wants to take this, but brilliant point. You know, the expectations of Mali, because of the kind of football we've seen some of their players play, you know, the club football, how well they fared, you know, in the French league, where most of them are, there was a certain, you know, expectation that they were going to give the Black Stars a really tough test. And it was not just something that the fans, the Ghanaian fans felt. It was there in the statement that Attoh Addo made prior to the game, that he expects a very tough game. He knows the Malians are a very tough side, but he had some faith in the Black Stars to deliver. And that was a point that Fifi Manfred made, that if you look at the individual players, and I even heard the commentator make that comment, that you look at the individual players in this Black Star squad, you look at the teams they play for, you look at how they fared this season, I mean, it's a very good side, but clearly what you need is a certain coach who can get them to play with some understanding among themselves. And to some extent, you get the sense that Attoh Addo was able to achieve that on Thursday, was able to get the boys to play with some understanding in midfield, in defense, and even in attack. Although it's not perfected yet, but it's a sign that, look, going forward, this team can get some good results. They can get some good result, and they can live to the pedigree, live to the kind of quality that they have. Antoine Semenyo did really well at Bournemouth. Of course, he picked up an injury, when the season was almost ending, and he had to, sit out. But we saw his performance in the English Premier League now. None other players than the English Premier League. We saw Jordan Ayew also. In the English Premier League, we saw Mohamed Kudus. In the English Premier League, we saw how they were dazzling, how they were performing. These are really good individual players. And what Attoh Addo is doing with them and what we've seen in the game against Mali is a sign that, look, like Derek mentioned, with time and patience and the full support of the Ghanaian public, we can get the team to perform.
Interesting point you raised there. Now, we managed to re-establish the contact with Michael Otieje. Michael, you were making the point about, that vulnerability that we sometimes find in our opponents, which we always have to ensure we're exploring to the letter.
Yeah, I said that, it was obvious that Mali had a certain element of vulnerability playing at home. I don't know, sometimes it tends to be the crowd, and Derek can explain this better. I've been with the Black Stars in stadiums in Kinshasa and the rest, where the crowd is so intimidating, but once the game starts, it actually becomes the factor why the home team does not play as well. It's a different ball game in Kumasi and all that, but ultimately, I thought that on Thursday night, the Black Stars were good value for the win. I thought that the changes were bold and confident. I thought that the changes, especially in terms of the team selection, spoke of a coach who understood that the assignment was first and foremost not to lose, but with the capacity to play quickly as you can on the breaks. For instance, if you were playing Tariq Lamptey as an auxiliary wing back, and we saw the runs in the first half, you're looking for somebody with a kind of pace to be able to contribute significantly to your counter-attack. And I thought that both in the decisions before the game started and the in-game decisions that Attoh Addo made, I thought that it proved positive. Look, in the first half, I think it was for nothing. It was not for nothing that after that heat break, that was when the Black Stars played a bit better. Even in the second half, when there was that break, so in the second half of both halves, you saw a team that had significantly improved. The pattern in the first half was almost like the pattern in the second half. Towards the final 10-15 minutes of the game, the Malians were stretched a bit more, we were running them around a bit more. There were more opportunities, more spaces at the back, more chances for counterattacks. And I think this was for nothing. We give Attoh Addo a lot of stick, but I think on Thursday night, he earned his flowers.
That's amazing. And now there is work to be done. The kind of work that we can, get done and get slightly comfortable, because it sure is going to also improve the dynamics as we see them now. Michael, what do you want to see the Black Stars do on Monday when they play before the home fans at Baba Yara against a potentially troublesome CAR?
No, you see, I think that we have to first and foremost manage our expectation. It's really important. You know, qualifying games are funny. We could be Mali on Monday. We could be Mali simply because the fans would expect us to run around. And I've seen too many Ghana games, whether we are playing against Namibia or back in at the 2008 Nations Cup or in the qualifiers for the 2006 World Cup, when we were so much on a high that we had Cape Verde at home and pretty much nothing happened. And we were so upset that we were not winning all the way. Sometimes we have very tough qualifiers. And I think that the expectation is that we will manage what we expect from the team. That said, though, I would expect a much more improved performance in terms of the quality of play. I would expect that we will win this one by 3 points. Before every qualifier, your main goal is that one, you don't lose away from home. You try to pick as many points as possible, and then your home games become a must-win. We've won one away, we've lost one away, we've won one at home. If Ghana wins this one, it puts more pressure on Comoros. It gives us the initiative. It puts us on the front burner. And I think a lot of us underestimate this. But this was Ghana's first win in 2024. This was also Ghana's first win in 8 football matches. Among the teams that we've played in that period includes Mozambique, includes Comoros, includes Namibia. So we've had a certain vulnerability against teams that in the past we went to the stadium expecting to play off the park and completely win. And my expectation is that the technical team is able to blank out the outside expectation, be pragmatic in their approach as they were on Thursday night, and understand that the most important thing on the day is to ensure that by the time game finishes, Ghana is on 9 points, and at least Ghana has its destination. Comoros may win, whatever happens with Comoros, the most important thing is to stay in close touch because we've got them in Kumasi. We've still got Mali to come here at home. And that for me is why on Monday nights, that game against Central African Republic is an absolute must-win game.
Must-win game indeed. Michael Otieje is in charge of sport at Media General. And of course, a man who's been very, very regular on this show, in times past. He's also sat in this seat before as well. And, today... Yeah, well, Michael, I'm taking you down memory lane, isn't it?
I
know. Maybe one of these days we'll gather the alumni, and next year we're celebrating 30 years. So maybe we'll bring all of you together for reminisce time.
Yeah. Some big hosts, eh?
Yeah. It'll be interesting, isn't it? Well, so today on the Joy Sports Link, we're just, looking into what could possibly be the realistic scenarios on Monday at the Babara Stadium. So contributing to the show, ex-Ghana international Derek Boateng, who is part of the pioneering set of players to have played at the FIFA World Cup for Ghana. And of course, that includes the current Black Stars coach, Otto Addo. Also here with me in the studio, Coach Osman Seidu and Joy Sports Musbao Razak. Let me just share with you some of the messages that have come, through. Sometimes we just like to throw in very plain questions, very easy questions that, people will regularly ask. Questions like whether or not questions like having, Jordan Ayew start the game on Tuesday, whether you'd want to start him if you were the coach. It would sound a bit absurd because of, the impact sub role that he's played, but it is realistic because he didn't start the game. He had to start from the bench. Now, let's quickly take a listen to some of the responses that we got, and then I'll take another set of messages. Now, Kofi Sami says, keep the lineup as it is. The mark of a good team is one that has a good bench. That's the players coming from the bench to win your games. Alex Danso says, I've always maintained that Jordan should always take Semenyo's position. Okay, thank you very much, Alex Danso, for that message. And Ajayi Mayowa doesn't even want to go into that conversation at all, just says, congratulations to the Black Stars. Okay, now, Eric Obi Ahin says, Starting won't help. He should come on at the same time with full energy for us to succeed. Now, Tinkran Kelvin Yeboah says he's an impact player. He never the seat up when he starts. Okay. Tinkran, thank you very much. Andy Yeboah Jr. says good substitution by the coach. Okay. Now, Daniel Akrofi says the most disrespected Ghanaian player ever. I'm going to, go to my panelists for some thoughts on this particular one. Whether they think that, putting both the fans and all technical teams he's played under, he's been showed a certain level of disrespect. These are all, thoughts that come from the people who follow the game. And why not? We have to discuss them. Now, Daniel Ohine Jikum says, leave that to the coach. Okay. Now, Sweto Samuel says, capital no, he should start from the bench. Another one from Kwabna Nsia Church Boy Collins says, no, he should start. He's showing to be a super sub. Let us deploy him as such. Michael Azarigo says, if they want, they can bench him and let their favorites play. He will still be the Jordan, and no player is better than him. So Daniel says, Jordan, God has blessed you so much. You make a chop bet Thursday. I bet 1,000 Ghana, and they say I go win. I'm happy. Thanks to Jordan Ayew. Okay, so everybody has interest, everybody looks at it from an interest point of view as well. Now, Stephen Senyo Agbativo says, Fatah Isaku should start our next game, and when he's on the ball, you could see that he's ready to kill himself for the nation. Bravo, Jordan Ayew as well. So these are some of the messages that have come through, especially as we asked on the Joy Sports page, the very simple question of whether the coach should start Jordan when the next game is played. Now, Fiawoyife, Asiwome, I hope I pronounced that properly. It's a massive result, a big boost. And this is the question I asked on my page. Now, Ghana beating Mali 2-1 away. Will this result in Ghana's World Cup qualifying campaign? Your thoughts are very welcome. And Fiawoyife says, I think it's a massive result. It's a big boost, but then we must improve on it to just make sure we nail the ticket. Nana Kwekutin says, it is just the turning point. Now, Charles Benoniokai says, it revives hopes and restores some confidence. I trust that with a few games, the boys will know each other better. Now, the only thing is the Premier League players must show greater commitment to lead the pack. Now, Citizen Manaf says, we will qualify, boss. Okay, thank you, boss Manaf. He says we will qualify. Nana Dakwa JC says, Ghana will qualify for the World Cup. And Felix Beu, I beg your pardon, says, nothing will stop us from winning our matches and subsequently leading the group. So clearly, the win on Thursday night has brought a certain level of confidence, which we cannot downplay. Let's come back here and start, looking at how some of the ways by which we can, end it early, control the game, and make sure that we have everything under grips. We do know the regular foe of Central African Republic. Now, they do not necessarily have anything to lose. I mean, topping the group and probably even going to the World Cup will be such a big deal, will be like maybe their currency has become stronger than the dollar or something. I mean, it's going to be a big deal for them. But here we are.
Yeah, I mean, here we are. They got a win in their third game. They got a win against Chad, 1-0 there. So themselves, they'll be going into the game on Monday feeling a bit confident, coming on the back of a win. They've also had to travel away. So just like Michael mentioned, we have to be very careful. We have to be careful about Central African Republic. And I'm sure that's something that Otoado will be drumming home to the boys that, look, yeah, we got the win against Mali, but then we have to be careful with Central African Republic because they can pull a surprise. They can pull a surprise. Sometimes what you need is a little, and sometimes it's funny. Just look at the goal that Mali, for instance, scored today. If you look at the shot that went off the Malian attacker, it wasn't something that hadn't gotten to, what do you call it, Atizi would have troubled him at all. He just took a deflection and boom, found the back of the net. And sometimes that's what happens. You play a very good game, one very, very, mindless deflection, and boom, you're down. And they're going to defend the entire duration of the game. At the time you realize you've lost the game 1-0. So the boys need to take this game serious. The game against Mali is over. It's the task now is against Central African Republic. They need to go there respecting Central African Republic, respecting what they are capable of bringing to the table, because you've played games against Zambia, played game against Comoros, you've played game against Namibia, if you fail to win. And if you're playing against Central African Republic, of course, it's at the Royal Sports Stadium where you haven't lost a game in a very long time, but they can make it happen. So, you know, the mindset have to be there that we need to get the win. We need to respect what the Central African Republicans are bringing on the table. But, like we said, it's a good opportunity for you. Get 9 points, put yourself in a good position to qualify for the World Cup. And I'm hopeful that the boys will take advantage and deliver come Monday. After defeating Mali away from home, I can imagine what's going through their minds. The confidence is up there, and hopefully they will translate that on the field on Monday.
All right, so more here on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM and also across the world via our live stream on YouTube. Here with me in studio are Coach Osman Saidu and Joy Sports Musbao Razak, and also joining us virtually head of sports at TV3 and all the other brands at Media General, Michael Otieje, and also ex-Ghana International Derek Boateng, who is now an international scout working with the Right to Dream Academy, doing some work in the United States of America, which will be one of 3 venues that will be hosting the FIFA World Cup: USA, Canada, Mexico. Well, some messages, and we get into the final leg of the show where we discuss, you know, getting the job done and also some of the matters that have arisen over the past couple of days, including the subject of our beloved captain, Andre Ayew. Well, thanks for staying with us here on the Joy Sports link on Joy 99.7 FM. Trust you're enjoying the show so far. So, one of the very big subjects that was discussed and, you know, discussed very, very extensively was that subject of Andre Ayew and his exclusion, especially at a time when, you know, we saw him churn out results, churn out some very good numbers in the French Ligue 1, where he laid a very big foundation in his professional club career. Now, we still have to talk about it because it is a subject that we will definitely have to revisit for as long as Andre Ayew remains an active player at club level. Now, Otto Addo took that decision. Our Twitter space, our X space, I beg your pardon, was jammed. I mean, Twitter, previously Twitter, now X. It was jammed when we had that conversation about, the whole Andre Ayew, thing. And these are conversations that seem to recycle themselves all the time. Leadership of the Black Stars team, who is there, who's not there, selection, and when some players are not selected. But before I come and pick your thoughts, let's pick Derek Boateng's thoughts. Now, Derek, I want you to tell me about the psychology around handling this, where you're a big-name player, you're very well established, and you are not included in a big assignment such as this, or you're not given the playing time. What runs through your mind? How do you deal with these? I'm sure that you've had to deal with some of them, in previous years. I do remember the period after the 2006 World Cup. You had to deal with something similar. Big player, you've played at the highest level, and you're not getting the invitation.
I was there. I was in 2006. You forgot.
Yeah, you were there. Yes. What I'm just saying is that the period after... the period after 2006. The period after 2006, yes. There was a bit of a hiatus for you in the Black Stars.
What I want to say on the issue is, like, sometimes, in Ghana, when you are coming to the end of your career, sometimes the way they treat you, the treatment is so bad, But I remember some time ago, we were in a national team, we always, sometimes we demand on him, to win a game for us, our confidence on with him. And for me, if you talk about players who are in good shape in their club level right now. He's one of them. He has scored like 7 to 8 goals, and he's doing well in the French league. French league is a top league. It's one of the difficult leagues in Europe right now. So for me, it's like the treatment that players get when they are coming to the end of their career, when they are still playing their club level, and with the treatment they get in the national team is really, really painful. A player like Didier, you have to be in the team. Even if you are not starting him, he have to be there. He has experience in the national team. Kudus is very close to him a lot. Some of the players are very, very close to him, and they listen to him a lot. So a player like him, all the same, I respect the coach decision, but for me, I think he have to be in the squad. Even if he's not starting, he have to be there. He's the captain. And he's playing his club level. He's doing really, really well. If we are talking about forms, players who are playing in Europe who are in good shape, he's one of them. You understand? And he should have started, but because of some players the young players that are coming with the national team, the anger that they have, that's the reason why they don't have to invite him. But for me, they have to be in the squad. Even if he's not starting, he have to be there and help the young ones that are coming, because they look up to him a lot. He's an experienced player, and the treatment that I said, is really, really sad. Sometimes as a player, when things are not going well for you, the treatment that you get with the national team, not invited to the national team, is really, really sad. Look at a player like Maguire in United. He's not even playing United, but Southgate had some trust in him, and always in the national team and playing well. So for me, I think they have to be there. They have to be there. Today we can all witness the game that you need experienced players in the game. Jordan came in. Look what he did. He win the game for us. You understand? And so for me, I think we have to give him that respect, and just because they haven't finished. When we talk about modern football right now, he hasn't finished. He still has something in him that he can offer in the game. So I think we need to respect that and just, go for him and help him out. We cannot treat him like that.
I just had one question. Yeah, I had one question for you, Derek. I mean, legend. One of the questions that personally I've been dealing with is, at what point is it appropriate to say that it is time for us to move on from a player who has contributed so much to the Black Stars? Does it have to be when the player says, well, I'm retiring from national team duties, then we move on? Or what time is most appropriate to move on from a player who has given so much for the Black Stars? Yeah, basically that's just my question.
For me, I would say that as long as the player is playing, a player like Didier has given so much to the national team. We all have seen it. Even the players, we know. You understand? You cannot treat him like that. He's still playing in Europe. Let's say you have to take players who are in good shape in Europe right now. The day you have to be first. Because look at his age, but he's still scoring goals in the French league. You understand? So I'm not saying just come and start him all the games. No. But at least let him be around the team. You understand? Let me tell you something. Kudus have very good relationship with Dede. I'm telling you, before Kudus will come to the national team, the only player he has been talking with before joining the national team is Dede Ayew. You understand? So I think there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes before we go on the field. But sometimes the fans and the people think that we go to the field and start playing. You understand? There's a relationship, that we have to make sure that it doesn't go away. They have given so much to the national team. You understand? Even if you are not starting him in the game, he have to be there. Because whenever he's there, his push and his advice for the young ones helps a lot. You understand? I'll tell you something. When I was playing for Liberty Privilege, how I know that the experience is in the game a lot. I was with Liberty, me, Essien, and Antonio Boda. We were playing for Liberty. That was our first game playing in the Premier League, and we played against Obuasi Goldface. And I'm in controlling the ball, and this player, Pia Sari or something like that, he's a midfielder. He took the ball away from me up to now, I'm still thinking about it. You know, like years back, that I was in the under 17. I don't know how he managed and took the ball away from me. That's how I know that experience counts a lot. You understand? So for me, sometimes people say the day is over, the day have to go out from the squad, blah, blah, blah. Look at AFCON. We didn't even play the day, he didn't start, but look how we played. We didn't play well. So why are we putting blame on him? He has done a lot for the nation. This is not the way how to put him out from the squad or from the national team. He's still playing, you know. And so there will be a time. There will be a time me myself. The last time I was having a conversation with him, I said to him, "He should not leave now. He needs to still be in the team, but we need him." You understand? Sometimes, you know, football play outside before you go on the field. You know. So for me, I think we need to give him that respect, and for him to be there.
Okay, we need to give him that respect to be there. Michael, you know, this is a subject we have, you know, gone on and on about, and there's a very important element that has come up, which is how do we show appreciation, say goodbye to them, so that it becomes almost seamless, the exit.
Michael, credit finish. Oh, I'll send him credit. Mike, I'm going to send you credit.
No, my credit don't finish. Oh.
I'm sending you credit, don't worry.
The network keeps going off. You know.
Nice follow.
Derek is always looking out for me.
Yeah, I know. You know, but
the first time we met, me and Derek, it was in Mali.
Okay, tell us about that.
2001, right?
It was 2002, but we met in 2000 after you guys came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time, you know, it was difficult for the Black Stars to, you know, get their jerseys and all that. Yeah.
When I chased you all over Accra for an interview.
That's very interesting, eh? Yeah, and the Black Stars have also gone through different
Sorry,
phases.
I think somebody has replied.
Yeah.
Yeah, different phases.
Yeah.
Look, so I get a bit, I know because of my constant relationship with the team, sometimes it becomes difficult tackling some controversial subjects, but I will try. This is one of the subjects that I disagree with a lot of my friends in there who have played for the national team for a long time. I personally think that the practice of how you move on players needs to improve. And I was having a chat with Stephen Appiah, who has very strong views about this, similar to what Derek spoke about, or spoken to Lai and the rest. But I also think that maybe the players need to begin to understand, because this is where my disagreement comes in. The way we bring in new players, and a lot of these players come in literally the same way. When it comes to time to move them on, it becomes a problem. So I remember very much in 2002, Derek, I think it was John Pencil, John Mensah, AC, and there was quite a good crop of players who had done remarkably well in finishing second at the Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. The beginning of the making of a career. Derek himself was already a star, having played in Greece, you know, profiled by World Soccer and the rest. And I thought that's one of the best things the GFA did, was to come to the conclusion that in order to allow these young, promising players to develop and come into their own, they needed to create space in the national team. Not just in terms of space on the field of play, but sometimes in camp. And I know it's a difficult conversation, but I think that it should be possible for the nation to say that, thank you very much, you've done a brilliant job. The path that we want to go along, we think that whilst you're playing well, it's not a path that we think you will contribute to. The other thing is that this is something that happens in every other industry. You could have a very, very good newscast. You wake up one morning and say, given the dynamics of the people who are watching A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I am going to have to make a change and take you to the back end. So I agree with Derek that the conversations and how players are moved on from the national team needs to improve. My request from a journalist perspective and a fan of Ghana football is that I keep hearing this too much, and maybe it's about time the players began to realize that when you get into the national team, it is, in effect, a privilege we've done you. And it's a privilege that we should be allowed by the benefit of team spirit to be able to take away any day. And I don't want to be misquoted here. I am not saying we should never call up the day. I was surprised he was not called up. I thought that his form, when he went to, after the Nations Cup, was good. I don't think that his form would drop. I think that Dede Ayew would do everything within his sporting capacity and powers to get himself into the team. But I think that we should also allow Coach Otto the benefit to say that for the sort of team I want to build going into the future, whether you are player A, you are player B, you are player C, you are player Y, you are player X, I want to do this without you. Now, once a conversation is had with the highest level of mutual respect, I don't think there should be anything wrong with that. And that, for me, is where we need to start gravitating the conversation. The process of managing the management of that process needs to get better and needs to change. You need to show players more respect. I wish Derek would have gone out of the national team with a bit more respect, with greater conversation, with a clear plan of integrating him, rather than leave the process of integrating him post-football career and into coaching to a private entity, which is right to dream to do. I think that process needs to change. We need like a really good plan that says that our best ex-players will undertake A coaching course, B coaching course, that subsidized by the state. This is how we will put on the ex-players. So even if the day is not playing, this is how we want to utilize him. This is how we want to utilize his international connections. But that should not stop us and should not stop our coaches from making strong decisions. Something we've always done, I have to say, and I have to be honest about it. We've always done that. And I think that rather than ask that process to be stopped, we need to improve that process. But the players need to understand that when you come into the national team, we've technically done you a privilege. We take you in the national team because first and foremost, we trust your sporting capacity. And at any point, a coach should have the capacity to say, for sporting reasons or for non-sporting reasons, I think it's thank you, it's goodbye.
Sporting reasons and no sporting reasons. And no matter how you look at this, it's sure still...
By the way,
very
I'm going to have to knock off a bit. Derek, okay. I'll text you.
All right. Charlie, about me there, you don't go text me.
Okay. Oh, but me and Derek are... we are like, me and Derek used to go and sit in his house in Sacramento. Derek can tell you, he'll give you an interview, he'll serve you for 3 weeks and then he'll come, but he's good people. So.
But
and that I'll text you. I like your shirt. I'll text you for it. I'm glad it doesn't look like the Music Awards jacket.
I like that one, yeah. But, you know, Michael, just before you go, the jacket was, would they say wine burgundy? Yeah.
I don't remember the color when you're washing things. Confuses me a bit. I can't pretend to understand.
Charlie, I go bring up, don't worry. I go bring up, make you.
All right, we'll go find later. And tell Ms. Bao that I think he does a brilliant job. Big future ahead.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff, yeah.
All right.
Musbah.
We'll catch up later.
Yeah, Musbah is the next big star. So Musbah go play number 9 or something. Yeah.
Hold on to him well, please.
Okay.
You know, so, yeah, Coach.
So for me, we need to draw the line. We need not to be emotional about this conversation. People are getting too emotional, whether you are for or you are against. We need to draw the line and be professional. Now, this is the argument. What is the criteria for selecting a player to the national team? As a practicing coach, I would like to be very objective because I don't know the information that led to this decision. So I'm going to be very practical about this. Now, my point is, if you have a captain who is doing well in his team, what is the underlying reason why he should not be called for a national assignment? This is the first time I'm seeing a captain who is doing well in his team but not called for a national assignment. This tells us that it goes beyond just what we know. There is some background conversation that you and I are not privileged to. So in commenting about this, we need to be very tactical and careful. Now, beyond this, the fundamental questions I'm asking is that, should they come back to the Black Stars again, is he still going to be the captain?
Yeah,
It's
for
a-
me,
it's-
if you can stay captain, captain sometimes not all captains supposed to be on the field that are playing. You can be captain like, being the team but not playing, like sometimes managing the players, talking to the players, giving them words of encouragement, let them know what it takes to get there or to wear the shirt, I remember in the Mali game when we are in 2001 or something like that, Abed Pele, I was wearing number 10 shirt. He came to me, I was very close to him. He came to me, he said to me that I should remember the jersey number I'm wearing. You understand? Yeah, then I started sitting down and thinking about the whole number 10 jersey thing, you understand? So for me, I think a lot of times, the captain not just be on the field. You understand? Captain can be in the team, but if he's not starting or not playing. We have sometimes in club side, we have a lot of captains that they are not playing at all. But they are the captain for the team. So for me, I think for me, the day coming back to the national team, I'm not. Otuado will never take the day out from the national team totally. No, it cannot be like that. You understand? Yeah, but what means he will come back to the national team? He will be the same captain, but not saying that he have to be the captain. Then he have to start the game. But he can manage the team and be around the team if there is something that like the team have to go, like meeting the president or meeting or captain is supposed to get up and talk. You understand? So for me, I think he needs to come back to the national team. If he's not starting or he's come back in the 10 minutes or 20 minutes, but I think he needs to come back to the national. He needs to be in the team.
That then brings the conversation on what has been the precedent, what has been the history of transferring captain ban to another captain. Talk about Kwesi Appiah, Abedi Pele, Sike Akono, Stephen Appiah, Dede Ayew, and then obviously
John Mensah,
Asamoah Gyan.
Yeah.
Now, based on what we've seen over the years, I do not want to believe that it will be a good transition to get the day back again and give him the captain band. We need to be very careful and face whatever decision we've taken as technical directors or as coaches or as Ghanaians. For me, this is a very critical moment for the history of Black Stars. Now that we are even talking about keeping them for a long time, for us to get the cohesion and get better performance by them. No matter how you look at it, there are pros and cons about it. And like I said, I don't want to be emotional. But those arguing that he should be part of this team will simply say he is currently playing, he is a Black Star player, he is a captain, and even when on the bench, he would motivate the players very well to give out their best. Those saying he should not be part of the team, he would create a lot of controversial situations that would affect the performance of the young ones that are coming. So we need, as a country, as coaches, as technical men, as Ghana Football Association, to really stick to whatever decision we've taken about the day and do not mess it up on the way.
Well, all said and done, we look forward to what will be an exciting game on Monday because Ghana would have to deliver that result. Remember that today we have purely spoken about the Black Stars for very obvious reasons. Now we need to place the conversations in context. Do remember that the Black Stars would want to make a return to the FIFA World Cup and, of course, tell a better story than was told in Qatar. At this stage of the journey, many Ghanaians are very much concerned about getting the results and building up the points, which will be the most important thing. The number has been expanded, and so if it's easier to qualify to the tournament, why not? All right, final thoughts from you, Derek, as we wrap it up this afternoon.
I want to thank you guys for having me. I want to say congratulations again for the team, the Blasters. And I know that if Blasters win, we all win. Like I always said, we all play part in it. And we should continue supporting the Blasters. And I know things is going to get better. I thank everyone for their support and thank you. And when I come to Ghana, I'll call you. I'll buy something for you, Nat, okay?
Okay, thank you very much. And, you know, I just hope nobody starts texting me to ask me what present did Derek buy you. Yeah. We'll be attending, you know, a barbecue in Derek's house. That's for all of us, yeah? So, all right, guys.
It's true.
Yeah. I've started planning the barbecue already, so, yeah. So tell Aisha that we'll take over the house soon, eh? Yeah, we'll fly her. We'll fly her to, you know, to Portugal or somewhere for the holiday.
You said that a lot.
Derek, thank you so much, and you stay well.
You.
Derek Boateng works as an international scout with the Right to Dream Academy, reaching us from the United States of America, his current base where he's doing some work, and Musbao Razak, our anchor for the 8:30 p.m. bulletin every weekday on the Joy News channel. He's also on the Joy Prime channel at 4 p.m. every weekday. And of course, the man who made a return after so many months away from this platform, Coach Osman Saidu, the Vice Chairman of the Greater Accra Coaches Association under the Ghana Soccer Coaches Association, also an aide to our very revered Chief Imam. That's how we wrap it up here. Let's look forward to Monday, and when it's all done, we'll come here, we'll bring you the analysis, the figures, and the things that you may necessarily not think about. Thanks to the whole team, my lead producer, Benaya Elom Dafiamepo, and the rest of the team. We'll be back next week. You stay well. Coming up shortly, the Joy Headline News at 2, and then Showbiz A to Z. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and I have love for sport. Welcome to this very special edition of the Joy Sports Link here on Joy 99.7 FM and also running live on our YouTube channel. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and as always, it's great to be in your company. You know, I like to say this line a lot because truly I appreciate the custom. I appreciate the regimen. It's a rule, and it's become a part of our lives where I come to you wherever you are in the world and serve you the best conversation in sport with Ghanaian interest and international interest depending on how the tide is swinging. So talk about tides and where they swing and where they take us. Today, we do not have an option but to talk about the Black Stars. Well, something remarkable has happened, and 48 hours on, it feels like it happened 3 minutes ago. And this is because it hasn't happened in a very long time. I'm talking about the victory that was recorded by the Black Stars against their Malian counterparts in that very crucial World Cup qualifier away in Bamako, Mali. And of course, if you do, look at the story of how Mali have been a tough customer for the Black Stars in the last few years, you'd know that this is a very, very key achievement and could prove that turning point or that turning chapter for the Black Stars in this World Cup campaign, which for a moment was looking a little derailed. Today, we have a whole host of guests who will be contributing to this conversation from their respective lenses. Reaching us from the United States of America, where he is in the thick of scouting work, is Derek Boateng, who is an international scout for the Right to Dream Academy. He's played at the FIFA World Cup for Ghana before, and he knows what it means to play in qualifiers and knows what it also means for Ghana to play on that big stage of the FIFA World Cup. He will be joining us. Also, seasoned scout and pundit and coach Osman Saidu makes a return to the Joy Sports Link after such a long time because he's been pursuing other interests. Well, we managed to get him back here. And our very own Musbao Razak, who brings you the major bulletin every weekday on the Joy News channel and also on Joy Prime at 4 p.m. every other weekday. Well, these plus our very good friend Michael Otieje, who is in charge of digital media at Desawe in Media General, will be joining us later on to add to this conversation from where they all sit. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's great to be in your company, and we're still living, in subtle disbelief, maybe because of the Black Stars' relative form, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Black Stars' form in recent time haven't been the best. They've struggled to pick wins, and I think this is their first win in some 9 matches. and it's a form that has generated quite some concern, and it's one that Otto Addo, when he took over the helms of affairs, he was looking to improve. You listen to him when he announced the squad for this World Cup qualifier. There was one message he put out there. He was very cautious about trying to get Ghanaians to be overly optimistic in terms of results. He said he can guarantee good football. However, when it comes to victory, it's not something that he can guarantee, but he'll get the boys to play well. Even in the presser, prior to the game against Mali, he was clear that Mali is a very difficult side. However, he is confident that he's got some group of players who have the quality to offer some competition against Mali. And on Thursday, that's what we saw. The Malians started really well. You could see they were trying to control the game very intelligently. The Black Stars sat back and managed to absorb the pressure. Just some few minutes at the end of the second half, we saw them coming into the game. Just unfortunate, the goal that they conceded. It was a deflection and very scrappy goal. The Malians themselves were surprised that the ball found the back of the net, but they got the lead. Then the response came in the second half, and that's something that it's been hard for Ghanaians to see of the Black Stars, that when they go a goal down, the response that they often give hasn't been there. But we saw it in the game against Mali. Ernest Nyama, in the 50-plus minute, managed to get the equalizer. Then, in the very dying embers of the game, the Black Stars fought, possibly borrowing the words of Hartlepool, that until the bones are rotten, they are not going to give up. And you saw Jordan Ayew getting the goal. So it was a very difficult game on Thursday, but the kind of performance we saw the Black Stars put up is one that we haven't seen in a long time. We haven't seen it at all. They were working hard. They were fighting for every ball. And whatever Otto Addo is, telling these guys, clearly it's part of a new chapter for the Black Stars. And it's something that all of us who are proud of. And on Tuesday at the Vara Sports Stadium, that I think is going to be a real party. It's going to be a real party.
Well, just before we came on air, we were discussing, the issue of wanting to just, take time off work, even if we're not on duty at the Barbara Stadium, to go and watch this game, because the fans are going to come in with a different kind of verve. And of course, when we get back, we get on the line to Fifi Manfred, my colleague. He sure is going to tell us how it is likely to look like. We do know the Kumasi vibe, and we know the role that Kumasi plays in these kinds of, qualifiers. Let's go over to Derek Boateng, who is there in the United States of America. He also watched a bit of that game, on Thursday night, and he's got thoughts. Like I said, he's got the experience from playing in these kinds of games, playing in these high-tension and high-pressure games, and he knows what it means to also wear the jersey and have loads and loads and tons of pressure on your shoulder to deliver. Derek, thank you so much for being with us here on the Joy Sports Link. It's good to have you here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Derek, 2-1, Ghana 2, Mali 1 away in Bamako. This is something we haven't seen in a while. Is that indicative of what we're going to see, in the near future? What does this result then say? Because we've done the most important thing. It was a must-win game. We've won. It's changed the dynamics, hasn't it?
First of all, I want to say congratulations to the team, the whole technical staff and the players. They have done really, really a good job. Even during our time, it's really, really difficult to win against Mali in their home ground. It's a very, very difficult place to play. And today the Black Stars went there and won the game for us, which is really, really important game for us. It's really, really, really. I'm so happy. I was watching the game and I was just moving my legs, whenever we have a chance. But
yeah,
it's a great game for us. The team played very, very well in the first half. We managed the game very well. But during the second half, you can see after when we scored, we equalized the goal, we started pulling back. I think it's a tactic game maybe to the players to do, but it works, And all the time I always say that no matter what we are doing or no matter what the game is going, you need an experienced player in the game, which Otto Addo did in the second half, brought Jordan in, and Jordan, with all the experience that he has, he managed to help us, Even during the game, look at the pass he gave to Thomas Partey. It's a brilliant pass, But honestly, I'm really, really happy and congratulations to the team. And I hope we can continue and just do our best and On Tuesday, too, is another massive game for us. We don't have to wait and know that, look, the game is over. No, it's not over. Another difficult side to play against. So I think we need to concentrate and, make sure that, we'll be there on Tuesday.
We'll be coming to that detail, but let's remain a bit more on this subject of that game that was played 48 hours ago, Mali losing before their home fans. Now, Coach Osman Saidu, it's good to have you back once again. Look, the fans knew the importance of winning that game against Ghana right there at home, and the stands told the story. It was intimidating enough, and they were expectant. And for the first part of the game, the Malians outplayed us. There was a hard press, and we were confined to half of the game.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt. I want to believe that as a coach, one of the things that you will be so excited about is winning a match like this. It took resilience, it took hard work, and it took focus, it took determination for them to get where they were able to get on Thursday. But having said all this, I also want to congratulate the players individually, because it's not easy to win a match against Mali in Mali. That's a difficult task, and I'm so grateful that even is it Prince Boateng?
Yeah, Derek Boateng.
Derek Boateng himself confirmed that that's a difficult task to do. But Thursday's match is gone. For me, congratulations, we've won Thursday's match. What is our next match? Because it has a lot of meaning, a lot of impact, it would then influence how we're going to progress, as we go through these qualifiers. But a word to Otto Addo. Otto Addo needs to be a bit more focused, not to be weighed by what's happening in the media. Why didn't he call the day? Why did he bench Jordan Ayew? For me, these are things that can't distract him. There could be genuine concern why the day is not part of the game, or there could be also genuine concern why they think the day should be part of the game. But hey, that's not the issue now. The issue now is you need to win your next match on Tuesday. And I would encourage him as much as he can to do the same thing that he did in his preparation before Mali's game. He needs to get the players ready for the match.
Okay, let's get back to you, Derek. Derek, for any fan who sits back and is watching this game, it's a very uncomfortable place to be when you're pinned to your half and you seem not to be able to run through the channels, use the wings to get out and catch your opponent on the break. You just can't operate. Your midfield is captured, and you just can't, and that is what Mali did to Ghana for the first part of the first half.
Yeah, I think both games, if you check the game very well, if you watch it very closely, the midfield, both sides is close, but the Malians they have an advantage of putting the ball in between.